Today marks the 24th anniversary of Jay Dilla's project Welcome to Detroit. If you don't know who Jay Dilla is, he's a legendary hip hop producer who's known for his unique style of drum programming and sampling and was in a group called Slum Village. Slumville, as I like to say. I want to talk to y'all about Jay Dilla, Slumville, Kanye West, Drake, and the sort of relationship between commercial rappers and what is some people consider to be the underground scene and how they all kind of contribute to this ecosystem. Okay. So around 2004 or so is when I really started falling in love with hip hop, like a lot. I would say 2003 really with 50 Cent. And when you're that age, I don't even think I was a teenager yet. I shouldn't be listening to hip hop. You're gonna most likely be consuming the commercial space, the space where people are dumping money into the labels, right? And at that point, I didn't have too many people around me that were like older that I could put me on to different people. One of the projects that I really loved at the time was Kanye West's College Dropout. He had two words on there featuring Most Def Freeway, right? But around that same time, Kanye also had features, right? So as I'm falling in love with Kanye and I'm bumping Kanye's stuff, now I do want to put out a disclaimer. 50 Cent was my favorite rapper the year before in '03, and I loved him a lot. And because of 50 Cent as well, I got to run into Jadakiss and the Locks. I guess that could also be included in the story because of their beef. But because of Kanye West, I ran into a group, right? And that group was called Slumville. The hip hop purists are gonna come on here and tell me that I should have known who Slumville was at like the age of like 10 years old, 11 years old. That's ridiculous. But I ran into Slumville and I was like, oh, this is a cool group. They had a song called Selfish with Kanye West. I believe Kanye produced this, and I thought it was really dope. I became aware of Slumville. I was not aware of Jay Dilla. Okay. Now I should mention, I believe at that time Jay Dilla had already left the group, right? So yeah, I'm running into Kanye, who's this really sort of humble kid at the time. He's sharing the spaces with different people. You can insert the Most Def joke here. Even at that point, I was like, "Who's Most Def? What is this? I gotta go look up this guy as well, right?" So that speaks to that connection of someone that's like super, super commercial. Most Def is commercial to a certain extent, who still kept a connection to the underground. But even just that, right? Right? So you fast forward about 4 years or so later, there's a kid named Drake. Now at this point, I am a teenager, and my boy had told me about this kid named Drake. I look into him like, yo, this kid is really, really amazing. But something in me said, so far gone is cool, but I want to. Does he have any other work? And people say, well, yeah, he does, but there's old work. So I go look up a tape called Comeback Season, and he has a song on there that I really love. It's called Where to Now. This comment I decided not to crop on purpose because he does have a line on there where he says, Ethiopian girl, with your little thin hair and your big ass. But anyway, I really love this song. And for whatever reason, I knew it was a tape. But I said, yo, I want to know who produced this beat. Who produced this beat? Mind you, same tape, I also ran into Little Brother with Fonte. Started doing research there. Just an inquisitive mind. That I don't think Drake, or I mean, I'm not saying in any way they put he put these people on. Obviously, they were giving him a shot, right? But I went and looked up the Where to Now beat, and I found out the beat was from a Jay Dilla project called Donuts. It's called Time, the Donuts of the Heart. So I said, holy crap, like, how does this work? So I start now I'm obsessed with Jay Dilla. I'm looking up everything Jay Dilla related. I should mention, I would be remiss if I don't point out that on Fair and So Far Gone, Drake did shout out Lil Bro in Slumville. And then he has another record that I don't think was on any tape, Deceiving, really dope record, which he sampled Slumville, I believe, on To You For You or something like that. Yeah. So it was there. It was there. It wasn't that coded. It was right. Mind you, this is circle about 2008 or so. Comeback Season came out in 2006. But it would all make sense because guess what? When I started doing my research, I found out Jay Dilla had passed. He had lupus. And the story goes that he finished this entire project, sad, on his deathbed with the help of his mother. So he couldn't use his hands that much anymore. It was really sad. I felt a bunch of sadness. But the only thing I can do was just start looking up Jay Dilla more. And they said, oh, well, he was in Slumville. I said, okay. So I started looking up everyone else, Baton, Young RJ, Elzai. And I said, I got to look up their whole work. And I said, well, they got a record with Common. And it just becomes this deep dive. Then I'm like, wait, I think I've heard this record with Busta before. Just little things like that. So the point is, other than the fact that I want you to go look up Jay Dilla, is one of the greatest producers I've ever heard, with a unique style. But I also want you guys to understand, maybe that's why I have a soft spot for people like Kanye and Drake. I know that, they have the way they're seen in the industry. But for me, the way I consume rap music especially, it's like an interconnected web in which everybody contributes to the ecosystem. And I take goods, I take bad. And it's not all it's not just all or nothing for me. And I think that if you really take, well, I don't know about this new generation. I don't want to sound like old head, but if you take a lot of people's projects for what they are now, and you go to their older work, and you just deep dive and research and go, you'll see that the hip hop web never stops. It's just up to you as a consumer to keep digging and digging and digging, right?